All right, we are live from Tennessee and North Carolina. Alexis Hornbuckle, tell everybody who we are and why we're here.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Buck and 2MC show, your favorite place to watch and listen to post game Lady Vol analysis. So today we face Georgia, and it wasn't the prettiest outcome. But before we get to that, Maria, say what's up to the people and let them know who brings them the show.
What's up to the people? Orange Mountain Designs is our primary sponsor. They had an incredible sale Friday and Saturday with $2 shipping, so I hope everybody took advantage of that. Also, Blue Water Climate Control and Tennessee Tap House. So thank you to them for making this possible.
Absolutely. Now, Maria, you and I both said the same thing when we both signed on before we went live. That was ugly. That was not pretty. We knew it could go either way after coming off such a big win, emotionally, physically, how that might look after the South Carolina game. And yeah, it looks like it might have taken some sort of toll. But what were Kelly's thoughts? What were some of the players' thoughts after the game?
I've queued up a quick clip. I'm going to let y'all hear Kelly's opening remark. Let me mute my mic so it sounds better on y'all's end.
We'll let her begin with the statement, and then we'll take questions from the media. Coach?
Yeah, I think obviously Georgia's game plan today was really solid. Took us out of sync completely offensively. And, hats off to them. They scored enough points to win. And in terms of our team, just disappointed in the mistakes. Thought we had lack of focus. And to be honest with you, I think this kind of started on Friday. I think Friday and Saturday weren't our best practices. And that's something that I've complimented this team on consistently this year. I think we have come to practice to get better every day, and really been proud of them. So this is one of those times I don't know how well we handled Thursday, but, got a couple more games left and have an opportunity to learn from this and bounce back for our last two games.
All right, Alexis, what's your response to that?
Like I said before even listening to that I don't know how well we were going to handle that win on Thursday, and it seems like we got a little bit too cocky. It can't happen. I mean, it's great to celebrate and enjoy the win. That was a well-deserved win, a tough-fought win. We needed that, but you have to refocus. And we said it on the show after Thursday. They have to stay locked in. They have to play like this every single night. They have to bring it. So it's a little disappointing to hear, that they didn't come focused for practices following Thursday, which obviously led to a disappointing showing today.
Interesting thing is that's exactly what Rick Barnes said yesterday after the men got beaten by Kentucky at home. He said, I saw this coming Friday by the way we practiced. It's and inconsistency it's a part of the game. You mentioned, you got to come out every night. And we say that a game could tip at 6 a.m. and we say night just by habit.
Right.
Kelly also mentioned later the noon tip. They seem like in Georgia, I mean, I want all that time in the first half added back onto my life for having to watch 1 hour of that. It was just awful basketball to watch on both sides. And Kelly said, we didn't have shoot around because shoot around would have been at 6 a.m. And she didn't see a benefit of getting a team up at 5 a.m. to have shoot around at 6 for a noon tip off. But then Tennessee also looked like it wasn't familiar with the gym or the court but you got time in pregame to get done with that. I could tell Kelly was sort of second guessing the procedure of leading up to tip off, but bottom line, I mean, Tennessee was out of sync. but in the whole game, just completely out of sync. Part of that was Georgia's defense, and part of that was Tennessee letting the mistakes get to them, and then one mistake would lead to another mistake.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's typical in early games, noon games, 1, 2 o'clock games. You don't have shoot arounds because it doesn't make sense. It's not enough time in between the actual shoot around and the game time. You have to come in knowing that. So when you hit the court for warm-ups, I mean, you got to be locked in. Shoot your shots. You don't have time to lollygag and do anything out of the ordinary. Shoot game-like shots. As soon as you get to the gym, get dressed a little sooner, get out there a little sooner. Your routine might have to slightly change. You're going to have to adjust to that. I mean, we can't keep – they're young. So, like you said, the mistakes are going to be made. But bottom line is, ladies, we can't keep making excuses for these ups and downs. We know we're capable. You've shown it. You have shown it numerous times, and most recently last Thursday. But tonight you also showed that we still haven't had it. We don't have it figured out. And somehow, some way, you know, whether it's Ray Burrell, whether it's Davis, whoever it is, Horston, pull the team together and figure out who do you want to be to close out this season. Despite all the ups and downs, who do y'all want to be? What is going to be your identity closing out the rest of the regular season and going into SEC play? I think that's all that there's left to do.
Yeah, there's only 2 games left, and Tennessee now has to scoreboard watch because Georgia has now beaten them twice and took over 3rd place in the SEC, and that's going to be hard to wrestle away from them. So now you're playing to make sure you can stay number 4. The South Carolina-Kentucky game is coming up starting now, actually, on ESPN. That is a huge game in terms of, and my dogs could not be more poorly behaved than they are right now. This has been a chronic thing for them lately. I mean, that is a huge game in terms of the standings. And it looks like we're 4 minutes in, and Kentucky's up 3-2. Wow. Now 5-3 South Carolina. Points are apparently hard to come by on Sunday in the SEC.
I guess
that first quarter was. I mean, it was there were like 6 points scored in the first 5 minutes. It just
you're trying to be nice about it, Maria. Call it what it is. It was ugly. It was terrible basketball, and it happens. It happens. But we got to recover, ladies. We got to find a way to recover. Okay, you didn't have shoot around. It's an earlier game. You were coming off an emotional high. You had bad practices where you weren't focused. You got to find a way to focus. Once you see, oh my gosh, we're in a game. This is terrible. We're not scoring. They're not scoring. Like, we have a chance. We're playing bad, but guess what? They are too. Let's refocus. Let's get ahead. And that didn't really happen. We pulled it together here and there towards the end, but then had some bad decision-making down the stretch and resulted in turnovers and obviously a loss.
Yeah, 20 turnovers and 29% shooting, and they're still within one made basket of winning that game.
Georgia didn't play the best game that they could have played. And that's probably more frustrating to me than anything is that we lost to a team that wasn't on their A game, right? That just – it can't happen. We just have to go back and refocus. Get mad. Ladies, you should be pissed off about the outcome of this game, period. Don't make excuses. Just say, you know what, this is not Tennessee basketball. This is not the Tennessee way. We're going to get it back. We're going to close out with 2 wins, and we're going to go in here confident into the SEC tournament.
Just making sure. Yesterday they ate Friday I was so busy at my day job, they ate a cat bed to protest that I wasn't. They shredded one of my cat's bed. So I had to go out yesterday and get a new cat bed. And now I'm trying to hear what they're tearing up in there right now. They're just bad dogs right now. Just bad.
It happens. It happens.
It does. And it doesn't. Tennessee will have a completely opposite tip time coming up. At Missouri, it's 8 o'clock Eastern tip. So now you're waiting around all day. But, that's a must-win game. Absolutely must-win game if you expect to finish in the top 4 in the SEC, period. And Missouri can flat out shoot threes and score. They like games in the 80s.
Right. you're just gonna have to come and lock in. Like I said, the only focus now, we can't pout about what just happened today. It's done. It's over with. It was bad. Yes, we know that we have to focus no matter who you beat or who you lose to. Every game matters. Every practice matters, and every possession matters. And that's what our focus needs to remain. We have to win these 2 games for not only for where we'll be placed at for rankings, but for confidence, for momentum going into the actual SEC tournament.
No, I agree. And Georgia obviously has won 2 games against Tennessee, and sometimes a team just gets in your head. I hope this doesn't become an Alabama situation. They ended up winning 5 straight.
It better not. No.
And Ray Burrell, both Georgia games, she has struggled to get a shot. They don't leave her open. They left her open once for a 3, and she missed it. Ray Burrell has been so consistent for Tennessee, but Georgia just seems to really disrupt her. And Georgia's defense is very good. I will give them that. But let's talk about that last play. Rennia Davis does not shoot air ball 3s. And they swallowed a whistle right there.
Yes, I thought she got fouled. Obviously, they didn't run it back on our TV. They didn't run the replay back, so I didn't see it at a different angle. But from the original game time play, it looked like a foul. And you see her asking for the foul. Mm-hmm. And that's something we can't review that. How does that work?
No, unfortunately, in college, the only time a foul call or non-foul call is reviewed is if they think there was any contact to the neck or head.
Oh,
okay. And you wonder if maybe coaches should get 1 challenge a half or something. If they,
I would give them 1 challenge per game in the second half only, because that's really what matters.
Yeah. That's true.
If you're willing to risk it at any point in time in the second half, then obviously it's worth it, and you feel like it's a momentum changer for your team. So I think that's something that NCAA might want to look at changing, because that plays like that are going to happen. We've seen it all too many times, whether it goes for us or against us. But I don't think it's fair to the players to know that there was an obvious foul and there's no chance to redeem that call.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Rennia, we talked to her post game very briefly. She said she thought she was fouled, but there wasn't a call. She didn't criticize it. She said, I thought it was foul, but there wasn't a whistle.
Yeah, but did we take a 3?
Do what?
Why didn't we take a 3?
Kelly said they needed better spacing, but she thought they got a good look. Tennessee was missing so much inside. That shot didn't bother me for Rennia to win it.
Yeah, she had a few of those step back 3s. But I'm just saying, why not get to the paint? We're down, you know what I mean? Get the 2, if anything, a foul, because they were fouling like crazy, whether they were calling it or not. But bottom line is she got fouled, but we didn't come to play. So it doesn't come down to that she got fouled on the last play.
And the possession before Tennessee turned it over. Rennia drove. And Kelly
shoot that.
That's what Kelly said. Just square up and shoot that. But she got a little too deep, tried to force a pass inside to Tamari. That's a tough pass for any post.
And Burrell was open on the other side, though. But I know she had her eyes on that center, but everybody came to the center of Georgia. Bad decision at the wrong time, and it was a costly turnover. Yeah, and we got it back, though, with the jump ball. We got it back with another jump ball, had 10 seconds. And like you said, we got a good look. I just would have liked to seen us, attack them, make them foul us, because they were lunging. They're very aggressive anyway. And let's try to get to the free throw line if we don't get a bucket.
Yeah, that sometimes getting in the paint can sometimes force a foul call, but
either way, we can sit here and go back and forth. We weren't in the game in that moment, and it was a good shot.
Bottom line is you got to start better, and then you got to
that part.
Debbie Denny asked, what was the energy like at the start of the game, throughout the game? I was listening, not watching. It was hard to tell. The energy was very low, and Georgia forces that sometimes. Tennessee wants to run, and Georgia forced that into a half-court game. And Tennessee just wasn't making good decisions, not with the ball, shot selection. Tennessee is the architect of its own mistakes. in this game. That is absolutely clear. But Georgia kept leaving the door open. But
Yes.
at this time of year, if you're the Georgia coach, you're happy. You don't care. If you're the Tennessee coach, now you're scoreboard watching. I mean, Tennessee is hoping, after beating South Carolina on Thursday, Tennessee is hoping South Carolina wins today, because that would put Kentucky right and Tennessee right together. And then you go back to Missouri. You got to win that game, period. And that's not an easy environment. Missouri games always are just, I mean, they're physical games without whistles. So don't be thinking you're going to get any whistles in Columbia, because you're not. And it's a late tip, and you won't. It's 8 o'clock your time, Eastern time, so you won't even be home until the wee hours of Friday. And Kelly was talking about their work Saturday. Because of the noon tip, they got up and practiced earlier Saturday in the morning to try to get used to moving at that time.
Right.
And then headed to Georgia. And I mean, Tennessee was just in quicksand. It didn't look like they were running in quicksand. And like you said, I don't know if it was the emotional come down from such a big win,
Right.
if the long trip finally caught up with them. When they shot, they did not look like they had shooter's legs. Those legs looked heavy because they were clanking some shots that they normally miss.
Yeah. I mean, it is going to take a toll. You're on a road trip. The Texas trip in and of itself took a toll. The emotional high of South Carolina, changing your schedule. Excuse me. I mean, I remember as a player, sometimes it is difficult to get your mind and body on the same page. Like, you're at the game, but your body's not fully awake, or, you know, it takes a while to realize, like, hey, I need you to wake up, legs and eyes and all this other thing. Mind, wake up. We need to be on the same page. It happens, but you got to be ready to play. If you know that you're not a morning person and it's hard for you, don't sleep all the way up till right before you have to be at the gym. Like, that doesn't make sense. Get yourself up early. Force yourself to eat a small breakfast if you're not big on breakfast, or, you know, a regular breakfast. Move around a little bit. Take a little cat nap. Get back up. Move. That way your body knows this is not the first thing I'm doing today. You know, like, you got to wake it up, or get to the gym earlier if you can. Obviously, away games is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
You know, go to the most of the time, walk around the hotel or outside. Do something to get your body going, some type of activation, anything. And some people need it and some people don't. I was one of those players. I have to get up and make myself get up early. Otherwise, yes, it's going to be a slow start.
And Karen Vogel said Renaya was pissed in one of the floor huddles. She was, and she's a senior. She should be. I mean, she knows. I mean, you're looking at the number of games you got left in your career, and you. I mean, they're dwindling. But Tennessee played a better third quarter offensively. They got themselves back in the game, but they couldn't get stops. And then in the fourth quarter, they got some stops, but then they couldn't make shots. Everything Tennessee did, the counter to it was not helping them. And I mean, they still pulled to 2 points, but this was a win you needed. I mean, I'm not going to excuse anything about this loss, and I don't think the players or Kelly will either, and they don't. This was a win you needed to take. Third place in the SEC was on the line.
Yep.
That's got to get you motivated no matter what.
Money time. Certain games, you just figure it out. You figure it out. An ugly win is better than a pretty loss any day. You just got to figure out how to get that one point better than the other team. That's literally how we made our 07 championship run. Dominic Redding used to say, we just need to be 1 point better, right? Which sounds crazy, but, you know, because Pat wants us to go out there and dominate. But realistically, it helped us say, listen, if we're not playing our best, if we're not having the greatest game, if we're not, you know, running this team out of the gym, guess what? We have to be 1 possession, 1 point better. So every possession matters. And it worked for us, obviously, in 07. So, ladies, maybe it will work for y'all too. Of course, we want to dominate, but at the end of the day, We need to be at least 1 point better than the other team. Find a way to do that, and it comes down to possessions and attention to detail.
Yeah, and the attention to detail was, I mean, 1 or 2 possessions are the difference in a game like this, and you can't get those back. Tamari Key did have 4 blocks. I think she was bodied up a lot of it. That foul she got called for at the end that put Georgia on the line. I mean, she
was crazy.
Yeah, she didn't even touch her. And honestly, particularly with young players, and Tennessee still has got young players asked to do a lot. That gets you frustrated. You're already tired. Your body's not responding. Your legs are dead. And now you're getting phantom fouls called on you. And I mean, it starts to pile up. And it clearly piled up on Tennessee. But what you wanted for that game was just a little bit better start. Just a little bigger, like Pat would say, I need you to get a sense of urgency.
Yep.
And that wasn't coming. I better shout out our sponsors again, OrangeMountainDesigns.com, Blue Water Climate Control, and Tennessee Tap House. Thank you for being with us and helping us along as we try to bring more coverage and better commentary about the Lady Vols, thanks to the insight of Alexis Hornbuckle. Alexis, when you're watching this game, what were you saying? What was coming out of your mouth that you can repeat?
I'm glad you said that. Oh man, this isn't good. This isn't good. You know how you're watching and you're like, I've been there when we look slow. We look like we're in mud. Things aren't coming together. We're not getting the stops that we should be getting. I think Ray Burrell struggled today, like you said, and it's not just getting open for open shots. She struggled creating her own shots because of the tenacity and the defense. And I mean, they're all hands on deck, poking at the ball, quick lateral movements. And I just like, this isn't good. This isn't good. I could see it, but I didn't feel like we were going to lose until we lost, to be honest, until those last few seconds, because as ugly as it was, Georgia wasn't looking that great either. And they kept giving us opportunity after opportunity. And I'm just like, this isn't good, with some other choice words in between. And yelled at the TV, scared little Chica. I forget, small dogs, they sometimes have a little anxiety. So she was like freaking out for a second. So yeah, that's what it was. Like, this isn't good. Oh, snap.
Checking on my dogs again. Georgia did not close the door one single bit. I'm like, that's why I thought Tennessee had a chance. I'm like, Georgia, you're at home. You got to slam this door shut.
We had a chance all the way up to the end, Maria.
And that's good, but this late in the season, you want that W. I mean, the good news is no loss is fatal right now. I mean, you're still got a lot to play for. Missouri, and then your senior game is next Sunday against Auburn in Knoxville. It's hard to believe we're at senior day. And because the entire tournament will be played in Texas, you will not be hosting. No team will be hosting at home, except maybe the University of Texas, because they're an early round site, because they've had to spread it out a little bit to get those early round games in. So this is your final game on your home floor. And, Renaya knows that. Cassie knows that. And I'm sure they want to go out strong. Of course, you can't be thinking about senior day. You got to be thinking about the Tigers of Missouri.
Right, of course.
And Tennessee has shown the ability to bounce back after a win. Renaya said that Kelly told the team that they weren't ready to play. And that's a pretty honest assessment, I think, from the head coach, because they did not look ready to play for whatever reason. And Kelly would always say, that the burden to get them ready is on the head coach.
Right.
But at this point in the season, I know you would agree, based on your team, you got to be ready to go. You just have to be ready to go. However you can get yourself jacked up and ready to go, you got to do it.
Yeah. It came down to a nice come to Jesus meeting after our terrible butt whooping we received from LSU in the SEC tournament in 2007. And everybody put it all out on the line. Obviously, it was forced out of us by Coach Summit. Anything, any little ticky-tack thing that was bothering you that kept you from really bonding with your sisters, with your teammates, to be on one page, to share one goal, and to fight for it together. And I don't know if they have any issues at all. I don't know if it's simply injuries, if it's just the pandemic, people losing their mind, just how the season's been playing. It's a lot of factors here. But maybe they just need to just sit in a room. Hey, listen, we're not leaving. I don't care if it's 30 minutes or 3 hours. We're not leaving until we all, each and every one of us, feel like we have gotten everything out that we need to get out, and we figure out how to help each other with our individual issues so that collectively we are so strong and unbreakable that games like Georgia won't happen for the rest of the season. Not in that type of way. Not that we won't have a close game. We won't look bad having a close game and not be able to overcome that and come out with the win. So we got to figure it out, ladies, because I really do believe in this team. Y'all made me a believer after Thursday. I'm like, we got to do this. We got to do that. We got to do this. Thursday, y'all found a way to win, and it looked like a championship-type team. Okay? Not saying that y'all had that today, but I saw it, which means it's in you, which means we need it. Bring it, ladies. Bring it.
And that thin line of a story narrative, I've mentioned it before, how one play, one thin line can change the narrative. If Renaya hits that shot, then all we're talking about is how resilient this team is, and they overcame all their errors and shooting problems. What a great team.
Yep.
You don't make the shot, and the narrative is, what's going on with the Lady Vols? What happened since Thursday?
That's the reality of it.
Yeah, I'll give them credit for they could have just tanked in that second half. They could have, they did not let up, at least. They did not stop playing. They kept trying to play. Things weren't going right, but they kept trying. They did have a lot of team discussion in Texas because they had no phones and they were stuck.
Right.
And they talked about things they needed to work on and things they needed to do. But after a loss like this, you almost need a clear the air kind of, where everybody says, this is what I did wrong and this is what I could do better. You basically take accountability for what you came up short with and what you can do to help. And that's a big step for a team, to hear teammates acknowledge mistakes.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to involve the coaches, ladies.
No.
This isn't something that you say, hey, coach, can we have y'all just get together, whether it's on Zoom, whether it's a few minutes, come to the gym early before practice or shoot around and just talk. And hey, listen, my bad. I had way too many turnovers. I didn't do this. I'm going to have better vision. I'm going to post feet better. I'm going to finish out whatever it is. And you'll find that your next teammate will say, you know what, I got you too. I can help you by doing this, this, and this because I need to get better in that. And then you see that everyone sees, okay, I'm not perfect. I'm not pointing a finger, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help this team. And once your teammates feel that and see that, and it's out there loud, because you might say, well, we know that, or they should know that. No, say it out loud. Let it be heard. Let it be felt, and then come out here and dominate these last two games.
And that needs to be 1 through 11.
Absolutely.
I'm going to exclude Jaden McCoy and Kean Green, of course, because they are not able to play right now. But that needs to be 1 through 11, because even if you're not playing a lot of minutes, how do you practice? How do you help the team get ready for a game? So I agree, and I don't want to make too much of a loss, especially a 2-point loss in a conference that has proven you have no idea what's going to happen in any game. This conference is just insane to watch right now. So the positives from the game that I would find, if you told me I had to find a positive, 13 boards from Cassie Kushkitawa. She's fighting on the boards, 22 points from Renaya, 4 blocks from Tamari Key.
With the two-handed block.
Yeah. Like I said, she takes people's souls when she blocks the ball. And that's why it's so frustrating when the refs call some of those ticky foul or a non-foul,
Yeah.
you're getting in that kid's head. You're making her hesitate to play the way she would play.
Keep playing aggressive. It comes together. Keep playing aggressive.
And what if you could take anything positive away from this game, Lex? What would you take?
We see we're capable of getting stops down the stretch. Keep that. We have to continue to do that. The turnovers, okay, we didn't take care of the basketball today, ladies, but what we did was say, you know what, we're not going to get ran out of this gym. We're not going to get embarrassed by Georgia. Yes, we're struggling. Let's pull together and get the best outcome. So I like that we didn't just quit. You know, shout out to y'all for getting rid of that quit mentality, because we need to only be focused on playing tough. And I think we did that. And I saw us talking to each other. We picking each other up, which is huge, you know, as far as huddles on the court. Those things are necessary. Keep doing that. I like what I saw there. But bottom line, let's figure out how to get these dubs. Oh, and when you said exclude the two that are hurt, I think you have to include them because they've been watching.
That's a good point.
And they're players. So even though they're seeing it from the coach's perspective because they're not actually playing, but they're also seeing it as players. If I was there, or I know my teammate struggles with this, or, you know, maybe when they come out, those two, I don't know, text at half. I don't know. Y'all probably can't look at your phones at halftime, but you know, whatever it is, I think that they could be a little more active and in their teammates' ears from what they see from the outside, you know. And they just, you know, the players take it with a grain of salt, take it at face value, and hopefully everybody moves forward. And yeah, because I'm trying to come to the Final Four and watch Tennessee play. That's all I know. That's all I know, ladies. I'm gonna see you at the Final Four. All right.
Hawes 242 said Jordan Walker had 7 boards. JoJo works hard every play. That's a good point. She will get on the glass, and she got hammered a couple times without a call. I mean, absolutely.
She's so fat. A couple of possessions when she was getting out there pushing the ball in transition, I was like, whoa. She was out there. Yeah, she was taking licks too. And I don't know why they weren't giving her the calls. But keep going, Walker. Keep going.
Yeah, just, you know, play hard. Because playing hard will make up for a lot of mistakes. Glenda Hoover made a good point. Positive point. It's behind us. Go forward.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's a loss. It's a loss. Move forward.
There's nothing to learn from this game that you haven't already learned before. Take care of the ball, make better decisions. Right now, you just got to flush it and say, all right, that was awful. Let's get ready for Missouri, period.
Absolutely. These types of games happen. We hate that it happened this far into the season, knowing that this win could have kind of locked us in to that third place position, but it happened. Everything happens for a reason. Let's come back. Let's use this loss to fuel us to stay focused, stay energized, and get the outcomes desired for, you know, our last 2 games leading up to the SEC tournament.
Glenda Hoover said, my wife came running in saying Tennessee isn't playing well, are they? I can hear you outside. You're going to have a heart attack.
I get hyped too, Glenda. I feel you. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Thank you. You know, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or volunteerroadshow.com. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate you interacting with us and continuing to support our show. But remember, please press that thumbs up, press the like button, and also share. That's what's really going to help us get this commentary out and let people know we're serious. We're here. Lady Vol Basketball Sports. We're here. We're going to let y'all know what's going on. We're going to let you know how we honestly feel and think. But at the end of the day, it's always go Lady Vols.
Renee Suter pointed out Missouri is whomping Florida 80-60 with 8 minutes to go. I will point out Georgia just stomped the crap out of Missouri a week ago. So everybody better buckle up for Thursday. That is not going to be an easy game at all.
At all. Tooth and nail, man. Come ready to fight. Come ready to fight, ladies. Maria, before we wrap this up, do you have anything else you want to say to the people? Any announcements? And besides, obviously, Wednesday night at 7 p.m., the Buck and 2 MC show. But outside of that, do we have anything else?
No, just don't forget we're Wednesday night now, 7 o'clock. Next game is Thursday. I am going to assume that the SEC is going to stop marking these games as postponed and just say they're canceled. I mean, I think we're done. There's only a week left before the SEC tournament. If you make any SEC coach play 3 games in a week before the tournament, they're going to be big mad. Their teams are tired. I do want to shout out every player playing in a pandemic. I mean, this is we're a year into this thing now, and these are young kids. So I want to salute all of them for their resilience and their ability to adapt when so many things have changed in their world. And that's every player out there in the SEC, college basketball, all of it. Kimberly said Missouri has hit 18 of 26 on threes. Boy, I don't think anybody's going to get any sleep between now and Thursday thinking about that. But
run them off the line, Tennessee. Run them off the line.
But that is, the biggest announcement, obviously, Wednesday at 7. We'll come up with a script and keep y'all entertained with something. I do want to encourage everyone, if you did not see it on Twitter, of Cassie Kushkitawa twirling Kelly Harper around in the locker room.
I saw that.
You got to go watch that. And that's an indication of what the team can be when you're on the same page and happy. After a loss like this, like I said, just flush it. Don't analyze this game too hard. We all know what went wrong. We all watched it. So
our job is to come nitpick a little bit and see what didn't go well and what did. But at the end of the day, this is just a loss, and we know what we have to go do. So therefore, let's go do it. Let's go get these wins, ladies.
Thanks to our sponsors, Orange Mountain Designs, Blue Water Climate Control, and Tennessee Tap House. Alexis, take us out of here.
As always, we love y'all. We appreciate you, and we thank you. And we are signing out. Buck and 2MC show post-game, Georgia. And until next time, remember, we love you, and go Lady Vols.
Peace.